Well, hello everybody. Good morning, buenos dias. I thought I'd make a little update video because I haven't made a little video in a while, and I just wanted to tell you about something that happened last night, which absolutely filled me up. Now, some of you guys that listen to the podcast know that I'm a keen amateur magician, and last night I did my first ever magic gig, which was amazing. It went very well, far better than I had anticipated. I was very nervous and I killed it. It was great. It was really great. Christina, my girlfriend, was catering for 11 women that were on this girls trip, like a little cycling trip, and they're all sort of sporty, athletic girls. And she mentioned that, oh, my boyfriend's a magician, and they were like, oh my God, a magician, that'd be amazing. The only issue was because the chalet is situated like down 2 flights of stairs. So like the bedrooms, it's kind of on a hill, and the bedrooms, anyway. So I couldn't access, because of the wheelchair, the area where they're all sat. So we did it in the garage. It's kind of like a little bit, if I'm honest, it kind of sucks like having to perform in the garage rather than going down into the general living area and the nice chalet. Just, I'm in the garage with all their bikes and stuff. But, it is what it is. You got to adapt and perform. So I did it. It was really, really great. I brought a little table with me and set it up. There were 12 of them in the end, because there was a guy that joined them. And I said, oh, why don't we split the group into 2, like 2 lots of 6. I said, we can do it all as one if you want, but I genuinely think it would be a lot better, a more personal experience. You guys would both groups would get a lot more out of it. And then also I could practice my tricks, twice. So when I say a gig, it was arranged that I would be a magician and perform, but I didn't get paid, which is fine, because I just love magic. I love it so much. I just want to perform and share it with people. I find it such a great way to connect. I learned so much as well. I thought it was brilliant. So I turn up there, and then all the girls kind of they're sort of keen to just all be there at the same time. So and when there's 12 of them, like there's not gossiping, but like chatting. And I just said, guys, like this, just before I started, I was like, I genuinely think 100% it would be better if we split the group into 2. And they said, okay, fine. But reluctantly, like, oh, well, I suppose I'll go downstairs. I said, honestly, you guys will have a much better experience. So reluctantly, some of them went downstairs. Anyway, I did my first little show, if you will, and they loved it. It filled me up. It was great. What I'm starting to learn about magic is the more you perform, like when I practice, sleight of hand or something in front of the camera or whatever, it's easy to get caught up in the mindset of magic is why I'm here, like you want to see magic all the time. But it's almost like stand-up comedy or any sort of entertainment. It's about timing, pacing, it's not like when you go to see a stand-up comic, they don't just punchline after punchline. It's unless it's like Jimmy Carr, he probably tells 200 jokes every gig. But most comics, they connect with the audience. It's all about timing, right? Which is what I'm starting to learn. So it's really great. I did a lot of mind reading, which is great. And you're like, oh, touch my hand. Like look me in the eyes. Oh, are you thinking of And then you reveal what they're thinking of, and they're like, no way, that's amazing, and that's what I think it's, I've started to coin the phrase connection over perfection. It's really lovely when I go in to a place and you remember people's names. I think that's really important. So you remember people's names, like, oh, Emily, yeah, I think we have a connection. And then, you think you reveal the card that they're thinking of. And some of the tricks are insanely powerful. Some of the tricks I did for the first time yesterday as well. They were very, very cool. And very powerful, very, very devious methods. I love magic. So I ended yesterday with a trick which was, again, I've never done before. It's like in magician lingo, it's torn corner to impossible location. So basically the premise of the trick is magician in trouble. So we do the trick, and she's reading instructions from a card, and I eat the corner of the card, and she's like, and then on the next card it says, "Oh, don't really eat the corner," and I was like, "Oh, you should have said that sooner." And then, oh, okay, well, and at the end of the trick, there's some cards missing, and she's like, and it says, "Oh, when the applause dies down, give your volunteer a reward," and that it looks like the trick's gone wrong. Then you're like, oh, you give them a reward. So I gave them one of these, like little sweets. And she picked it out. And immediately, like a lot of they're like, oh my God, it's going to be in the sweet. It's going to be in the sweet. Spoiler alert, it was in the sweet. But I did this trick twice. It was really cool. The first time, the girl like bit it straight out. And it came straight out. And it got an amazing reaction. Like, I got a whole standing ovation for it, and it was brilliant. And it was amazing. All the girls kind of like knew that it would be in the sweet. It was like a lot of misdirection, that the trick had gone wrong, and yeah, it was really cool. The second time I did it with the second group, the girl actually ate it. Like, didn't eat it, but like she was like, oh, I let them think that the trick had gone wrong because I thought eventually she's gonna figure it out. It's in the sweet, right? I think it's kind of obvious, but she put it in her mouth, and then she was like, oh, and spat it out. I think it's really cool where something goes in your mouth and then it comes out of the spectator's mouth. They're like, that is really, quite a magical feat. So she spat it out, and she got like the card that she'd signed, and I was like, oh, does it match up? And she's like, oh my God, it actually matches up. It's the same corner. That's amazing. How did you do that? That was really fantastic. So anyway, I don't want to like bore you with magic talk, but it really fills me up talking about it. There were some really wonderful reactions, and a lot of the feedback I got, they were saying, you're the best magician I've ever seen. It was absolutely brilliant. One of the girls said, oh, my boyfriend loves magic. He does it all the time. He's such a nerd. And I was like, oh, okay, sounds like a bit of a backhanded compliment. But she said, oh, you were way better than my boyfriend. Like, yeah, this was real magic. This was amazing. And that filled me up. That was amazing. So my first ever magic gig was a resounding success, and I can't wait to perform more magic over the summer. There's a hotel down by the lake, and I've been going there and practicing on groups, and I've been getting a lot of approach anxiety. So it's interesting, like going to a gig or going up to a group of people and say, oh, hey, do you want to see a magic trick? It kind of, even though I've never had anyone say no thanks, they're always like, oh yeah, absolutely. And then afterwards, they're like, that was amazing. For some reason, I still get a lot of anxiety approaching them. And before this gig, I had my anxiety and nervousness and excitement was through the roof. But when I got there, the pressure was off because they said, oh, you must be the magician. Oh, amazing. Well, we'll get set up in a minute. We're just, tidying away the bikes. And I was like, okay, cool. So I didn't have to ask to see, I felt quite confident, in fact. It was weird how the nervousness and excitement died down as soon as I was there. It was all about the anticipation of going there. Stressing, like writing down like what tricks I'm going to do, like in what order, and like, creating a routine. It really pushed me out my comfort zone. And I'm eternally grateful for my beautiful girlfriend, Christina, for arranging it for me. Even though we couldn't do it in the chalet, it was fantastic. And I really can't wait to do more stuff like this in the future. It was amazing. Anyway, I don't want to bore you guys with magic talk. It just fills me up, and I think that one of the things about being a magician is that I can do it from my wheelchair. I hadn't anticipated that being in a wheelchair would hold me back from performing, but obviously there's been some venues which I couldn't go to because Chris has been asking her clients, like, do you want to see a magic trick? Oh, amazing, but we're up 3 flights of stairs, so sorry, if your boyfriend can't come up, then we can't do magic. Which was a bit heartbreaking because you think that I just hadn't anticipated that being in a wheelchair would, but I guess generally it holds you back from going 2 places, right? So yeah, anyway, moving on. What else has been happening in my life lately? I have got a story for you. So some of you guys who are watching the channel for a while might have remembered a while back I sold some pictures of my feet on my Patreon, and I made about $200 with some pictures and a video of a foot massage, and I was like, thought that's pretty lucrative, but it's a once in a blue moon thing. I hadn't anticipated there would be a market for pictures of my feet. But I guess because you know, I'm in pretty good shape and I'm in a wheelchair, there's some people out there that like that sort of stuff. That's great. I got approached by a guy, I think it was a guy. I mean, I'm 99% sure it's a guy, but you know, the name is ambiguous. So maybe there's a 1% chance it's a woman. Anyway, they approached me saying, "Oh, I found you through your bathtub video." Immediately, red flag. I'm like, "Oh, okay, right. What are you buttering me up for?" And the conversation was moving quite slowly, and I didn't want to be rude because they're, you know, paying money to be on my Patreon. But in the end, I was like, "Hey, listen, just be direct. What do you want from me? You're buttering me up for something. I'm open to whatever you say. You know, I'm not allergic to money. What do you want?" And they said, "Oh, wouldn't it be great if you did that bathtub video, but it was uncensored?" And I said, "Oh, listen, I'll be honest with you. I probably don't have that footage, but my girlfriend took some pics of me on holiday. They're a little bit saucy. Basically, it's just me in the shower, naked. And I just said, look, if you want to see them, I'll put them up as a paid post on my Patreon for 200 euros. And they were like, "Oh, 200 euros, that's a bit steep." I was like, "Well, it's non-negotiable. It's a very explicit picture of me. You know, if you want to see my willy, that's how much it costs." They came back within like 2 hours and they said, "Yeah, sweet, I'm okay with the price." I was like, "Brilliant." So I put it up and I sold some dick pics for 200 euros, which is wild, right? So, I mean, the pictures are tasteful. I'm there, you know, I've got a pretty unremarkable penis, you know, it's just a normal willy. So I was very shocked at the prospect of selling these pictures for a profit. But it happened. They were very happy. They were like, "Oh, I love them. Brilliant. You know, nice willy." And I'm like, "Cheers." So yeah, it's very complimentary. I was very flattered. They were like, "Oh, you're so beautiful. You're gorgeous. You look perfect." And I'm like, "Oh, that's very nice of you." So I was flattered, and I made some money, and I've probably spent that money already on new magic tricks. So, you know, that's what I'm passionate about. That's cool. So that's something that happened, which was very unexpected. Also, I've told my mum about it, so yeah, I don't mind talking about it on the internet because she knows. And she was fine. My mum and dad had a bloody great laugh about it. They were like, "Oh my God, son, you're hilarious." So yeah, there you go. The other thing that has been going on this summer is Chris got an e-bike, which is amazing. We got a very, very, very good deal on it. We had a friend from the UK came over. It's like a 29-inch mountain bike, so 29-inch wheels, mountain bike, very, very cool. The thing flies. It's unrestricted, so it's meant to do 25k an hour, or like 15 miles an hour top, but we got it unrestricted, so it flies. She hasn't really got, I don't even know what the top speed of it is, but it's way fast enough. She flies up hills on it. It's great. In turbo mode, it's like a pocket rocket. I'm a little bit jealous. I realized that, you know, I have an e-bike and I'm very, very lucky to have one. And as technology gets better, it benefits me in a wheelchair, but it also benefits everyone else. And I really wish that I could have had the experience of having an e-bike before my accident. But again, I'm just grateful that I do have, you know, a hand cycle that is powered by a battery that gets me out and about. And on that note, I really wanted to take a moment to acknowledge how beautifully, wonderfully grateful I am that I can now take the dog for a walk without having to put the bike in my car. You guys might remember that in my last place, even though it was a beautiful apartment, I had to put the bike in the car just to drive 3 minutes to the woods to get the bike out of the car to get Bonnie into the woods. Now here I can cycle straight to the woods down the road. The road's very, very quiet. She just runs next to me very beautifully. She's such a well-behaved dog. She's on the lead. You know, we go down the road. Then there's like a tiny little, kind of like a roundabout thing. It's just on the road for 20 seconds max. And I'm very, very visible. So the cars are always, if there is cars, they give a very wide berth. They always give me like right of way. And when we just boost down the road, past the swimming pool, and then into the Duresh, and I love it. She's so well behaved. I think as well having the structured walk on the lead is brilliant because she just responds really well. And then when we're in the woods, she listens to me so much. I've been whistle training her as well. So I've got a whistle, I've been blowing it, and I've been rewarding her with very high value treats, like little slices of hot dogs. She loves those, and like little bits and bobs from, like, for example, recently Chris overcooked some food at a chalet. So we've got loads of like quite tough pork bits, but they're great dog treats, you know? So I blow the whistle, Bonnie gets a bit of pork, and it's really wonderful. So that's been going on. What else? We've been doing a lot of swimming this summer, which is really good. And apart from that, just, you know, been having a really, really good time. So I can hear that someone's just coming home. So I'm going to end the video now. But I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. That's what my summer's been like. Lots of swimming, lots of biking, lots of dog walking, lots of magic. And it's been really, really wonderful. So one more thing I wanted to add before the video ends is that we have a Zoom hangout like once a month on the Patreon. This month it was really fun. We got some great feedback. We had a really great time getting to know each other. If that's something you're interested in, there's a link in the description. But other than that, have a great day. Might see you on the Zoom hangout. If not, we'll see you in the next video. Peace.